Hi everyone, I'm Rabea from Ravenous Reads, and I'm here today to talk to you about my TBR for the coming weeks of April. It's already the second week in April, so I already read some of my books that I had planned for this month, because I did participate in the AYearAthon for the first week of April. The AYearAthon is a readathon that is hosted monthly in the first full week of the month, and it's always centered around a theme. I'm gonna leave the link below to the video where all the themes and the challenges of every month for this year are posted, so you can go check it out and see if you want to participate maybe in the coming month. The theme of the April AYearAthon was bench warmers. I picked a couple of books that have been on my TBR a long time and that I've been dying to get to. And since I recently put myself on a book buying ban, where I'm not allowed to buy books till the end of May, I really was excited to get to my TBR and just find those books that will captivate me for this week. And yeah, I'm just gonna quickly tell you the 3 books that I read, the 3 books that I did not get to but I want to read still, and then I want to get to what I really want to talk to you about in this video. First up, I read Pendragon, Book 1, The Merchant of Death by DJ McHale. It's actually a reread because I've been devouring this series since I was 12. But it's been 10 years since I read this series, and I just wanted to see if it's still as exciting to read as it has been back then. I still thought it was a really great read. It was really exciting, it was really fast paced. I think the idea behind it, the world building is really great, but I don't know, it's still the writing style and also the characters are not as great as I thought they would be. The character building is not really there. I think I remember that during the next couple of books in this series, the characters do develop some sort of arc. I want to continue on in this series for the next couple of months so that I hopefully get to books 9 and 10, which I have not read yet, by December, so that I can say that I finished this series in 2018. Next for the AYearAthon, I read Agatha Christie. It was the German version. It's Kurz vor Mitternacht, and the original title of this is Towards Zero. It's obviously a crime novel about a murder happening, and you get to figure out who done it and who actually is the victim in all of this. So really exciting, really good read, really quick read. It's really short as always, and I was happy to finally get to one of these because I have a lot of Agatha Christie novels on my shelves. So I hope to get to one of these, at least one of these in every month. The last book I read for AYearAthon in April was Mary Higgin Clark's In Vergeben wird nie. It's also a German translation of her novel Daddy's Little Girl. It's a thriller about a murdered girl of 15 and how her family deals with it in the aftermath. 20 years later, her murderer goes free and is still saying that he's innocent of the crime, and the little sister of the victim goes on and tries to prove that he actually did it. Very fast-paced, very quick read, it's not my favorite, so it was actually only 2 stars, maybe 3 if I'm really generous. Ready Player One by Ernest Cline, Deadline by Renee Knight, and Das Leben der Ursula Schulz by Peter Kolecki. So I was hoping to get to all of these during the first week, but it was kind of a high goal because I did have to do a lot of work. But I continue to want to read these. One of these you will see later on in the video. Ready Player One is coming out it's actually out already, I think. So I really want to see this movie, and everyone loves this book, everyone raves about it, so I want to get to it and maybe go see the movie and see what it's all about. And like all these books, it's been on my shelves for a very long time. I actually have not read it yet because of the font. It's really small and it really annoyed me, but I just want to soldier through it and get to it as quick as I can. So that's it for the AYearAthon. Now I want to get to the next 3 weeks of April, which I want to participate in the O.W.L.s Readathon 2018. It's hosted by G from Book Roast. I'm gonna link her video down below in the description box so you can go check it out and see for yourself what it's all about. Here's the quick summary. It's basically the Owl exam from Harry Potter, and G from a Book Roast thought of 12 different challenges in order to do your own Owl's exam. You can choose from 12 subjects that coincide with a different theme, and you can read as many as you want, but to get an outstanding grade for your Owl, you have to read at least 5 books out of the 12s to pass with an outstanding grade. If you do less, you can still pass, but of course I'm trying to get an outstanding, so for the next couple of weeks I'm going to try to finish 5 of the following books. I could actually use the 3 books that I already read this month, but I didn't want to cheat because I already used those for the AYearAthon, so I want to read 5 more books this month. First off, Ancient Runes. You have to read a book with a symbol on the cover. I chose Wir sehen uns beim Happy End by Charlotte Lucas. It's a German book about a girl who thinks there should be happy ends all around, even in real life. I'm really looking forward to reading this, and it has all these symbols on the cover. It has a bird, it has a star, it has a sun, it has flowers, and it's also such a gorgeous book. It has stained pages. It's a kind of different size of the normal hardcover books in Germany, so it's something special. The next subject is arithmetic, which means you have to read a book that has a number in the title or on the cover. This one was a really hard one because I actually did not find a lot of those, but I finally decided on Illuminae by J. Christoph and Amy Kaufman. And even though I don't really think this one counts, this is the German version, it says like number 1, book 1 of 3. It actually has numbers if you look really closely. You have like 22.7, so I think it counts. And I really wanted to get to this. I actually have the audiobook of this because I heard on BookTube that it's amazing, and it is. So I have the German version right here and the English version as an audiobook, and it's fun to see how different it became during the translation. So, or if it got better, if there are things missing, if it's the same amazing book as everyone tells me it is. So yeah, this is gonna be a great read. Next up is astronomy, which means you have to read a sci-fi book. I love science fiction, and I've wanted to read Timeless, Retter der verlorenen Zeit for a very long time. It's written by Armand Balthazar, and some of you know that I've already had this on my Wintersupperbau that I did in winter, trying to get to my through my TBR. I did not get to it at that time, but I really want to get to it now. It's a very big book. It has a lot of pages, over 500 at least, and it's also very gorgeous inside. It has these illustrations, so I think maybe it will be a quick read because it's also like a very big font. But I really want to get to it, and it's science fiction, so it counts. The next subject is Care of Magical Creatures. So Hagrid, I really want to do this one. So it's read a book that has a magical creature on the cover or features it in the book. So I decided on Scorched by Marie Mancusi, and this one's has been on my TBR for a long time. Ever since I had a phase about dragons, where I got like a huge pile of books that featured dragons. So I never got around to reading this one, and the cover is kind of, I don't know, not my style, but I think it's gonna be a quick, fun read. It's about time travel and dragons and prophecy, and I think twins, like twin brothers. Yeah, it sounds like there's gonna be like a love triangle, which is a trope that I hate, but I'm really interested to see how the dragons like are described because I love dragons. Later on in the year, I want to read all of the Talon series books. The next one, or the last one, comes out this month, but since I can't buy books this month and not until the end of May, I still have a little bit of time to reread the other ones and to finally finish the series of Talon, which has dragons in it. But for this month, I decided on Scorched. The next subject is charms, and the challenge is a really easy one. It's read a fantasy book, which I have on my TBR, a lot of them. But in the end, I actually decided last minute to change my decision for this Als exam because I found out that there's a read-along for The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb, which in German is Der Weitseher. There's a read-along from the name of the book, which I found out about by Little Book Owl. I will also link the video below where she talks about how they decided to create this new book club and how they decided to read this one. Yeah, it was really fun seeing the video where they decided on reading this book and then going to my TBR and finding exactly this book on the shelves. Having sat there for a very, very, very long time. So yeah, I finally got around to reading this, and that's gonna be my fantasy pick for this month. Next up, there's Defense Against the Dark Arts, and to pass this Als exam, you have to read a book with a secret society in it. That one was hard. I do not have any kind of books that have secret societies in it. I mean, there are like where there's like a secret world or secret travelers or something, but not really anything that has like a secret society stamp on it. But then I found Jake Jones by Damien Dibben, and it's the first of a series, and it actually has like a time traveler secret society. So yay, found one. Next up, we have Divination, and the challenge for this Als exam is to read a book that has a prophecy in it. And again, difficult. I don't really like the trope prophecy or the chosen one or something. So basically I had Harry Potter. But in the end, I decided to reread Wen der Rabe ruft by Maggie Steve. Whoa. Sorry. Okay. Wen der Rabe ruft by Maggie Stiefwater, which most of you will probably know as The Raven Boys. It's the Raven cycle. I want to reread the first 3 books so I can finally finish the 4th. Already waiting right here. Still all nice and not red. It all comes together in the end because I want to read this at the end of the month so that I can start in May with the next couple of books of the series and finish it, because the AYearAthon of next month is going to be rereads. So perfect, I think so. Yeah, so I'm going to read the first book of this series where there's a prophecy about Blue killing the person, like her true love, with the first kiss. And of course she tries to avoid this. I love the series. I don't know why I haven't finished it yet. Everyone is raving about it. Haha, haha. Raving, raven, ravenous. Get it? Sorry. Back to the books. Next up, we have Herbology. In order to finish with outstanding in this Als exam, you have to read a book that has some sort of word of nature in the title. It can be earth, water, wind, whatever. In my last O.W.L.s box, I got Heart of Iron by Ashley Poston, and I really want to get to this fast because it's supposed to be Anastasia retelling set in space. Yes, yes, and yes. So I really want to get to it, and look at it, it's gorgeous. I think this month is the month of stained pages because I already had that in Ancient Runes. Now I have it in Herbology as well. I really want to get to these new O.W.L.s books the next month so that they don't stack up like they did in the past. So I really hope to get to this. And iron, I think that counts as something nature-y. There's iron in nature, yes? Yes? Please say yes. Next up we have History of Magic, which just means you have to read in historical fiction. I did an unhaul of a load of, a lot of books, historical fiction, thrillers. Like a lot of them just got unhauled because I would never read them ever. As I said before, my genres are mostly fantasy or science fiction or young adult, whatever. So yeah, historical fiction, not my first go-to, but I thought I would find one that I would actually read this month if I got around to it, and that's Between Shades of Grey by Rita Sepetys. I actually have not read Salt to the Sea. I gave it to my sister, she still has it, so Anna, can I have it back now? Just kidding. I still have to read this one from her, and it's actually... I met her in Lübeck at one time, and I thought she was a really great person, and the story behind Salt to the Sea is so amazing. So I was actually surprised back then that I had this on my TBR and I haven't read it yet. So I went to the reading of Salt to the Sea, which I hadn't had back then. Brought this one, got it signed, still haven't read Salt to the Sea, and yeah. Now it's like 1.5 years later maybe, or 2 years later, and I still haven't gotten around to it. So hopefully this month I will get an Owl's Outstanding in Between Shades of Grey. Next up is Muggle Studies, which just basically means you have to read a non-fiction book. I decided on Das Leben der Ursula Schulz. You've seen it before. Yes, it's from my TBR from AYearAthon. I didn't get around to it, so maybe in the end I will still read this in April, hopefully, because I met the author a year ago in May, so I hope to get through this and not have it sit on my shelves for more than a year without reading it. And I also have like an interview with him, so I still want to post this on my blog. So yeah, Muggle Studies, got to get around to it. Next up is Potions, and for this Als Exam, to get an outstanding grade you have to read a book that deals with alchemy or is about alchemy. And like I said, historical fiction, not so much my thing, but alchemy is nowadays apothecary. So I found this on my TBR. It's the newest book of Anna Ruhe. It's again a German book. It's called Die Duftapotheke, and Apotheke is apothecary. So as you can see, this is a gorgeous cover. Last but not least, the last challenge of the Readathon is Transfiguration, and for this exam you have to read a book that deals with transfiguration or shapeshift in any form or has a cat on the cover. Yeah, in the end I found this is really hard, Der Axolotl-König by Sylvia Ries. It's again a German book, and it has huge font, so I'm hoping to get through it really quickly, and it deals with the transfiguration of a prince into this creature. So yeah, works. And that's it. So these are the 12 books that I picked for the Als Readathon 2018, and I'll try to get an outstanding grade, which means I have to get through 5 of these books in the next 3 weeks of April. Yeah, I'll try my best, and maybe I'll get to some more of the 12, but there are some other books that I still want to read during April, and those didn't really fit into the categories. Like I said before, I have some subscription boxes like O.W.L.s and Fairy Loot and Page Habit that I sometimes get. So if I get those in a month, I want to try to read the pick of the book box the next month, so they don't pile up later on. So I still have from last month, I have Fairy Loot's State of Sorrow, which is a gorgeous cover, gorgeous book that didn't really fit into any of the categories. And I have The Apocalypse of Elena Mendoza by Sean David Hutchinson, and this was in the Page Habit of March. Yes, of March. Beginning of March I got this. And also I have these 2 books that I want to get through. Both of these books were turned into movies. Ready Player One is already in cinemas, so I really want to get through this quickly so that I can go see it. Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda has also turned into a movie called Love, Simon, and I know in America and other countries it's already out in theaters, but here in Germany we still have to wait until I think August to see it. But I will get the opportunity to go to a preview in the beginning of May, so I will have to read this until then, so I know what's going on and why everyone's raving about this book, because everyone is telling me this is a great read. So yeah, got to read this. I read The Upside of Unrequited by Becky Albertelli and I loved it. Great read, one of the best I read last year, so I hope this gets to be as great a read as that was. I'm able to go to this preview because of Carlsen Verlag, which is the publishing house that publishes this book in Germany, and I'm really looking forward to the experience, and maybe I even get around to vlogging about it, reading this book and then seeing the movie and seeing how it all holds up. I've heard great things about the book and the movie, so there are high expectations and I hope they don't let me down. So these are the books that I'm hoping to get to read during April. It's only like a little bit more than 3 weeks, or maybe not even those. It's only like 3 weeks left in April, so I have a lot of reading to do this month. And just tell me down in the comments below if you read some of them already, or if what your TBRs are for the month of April. Maybe if you want to participate also in the readathon, just click on the video below to just get more information on how to do it and what to do about it. I hope you liked my video. If you do, subscribe to my channel down below and maybe leave a message. Anyway, I'm gonna go back to reading now. Happy reading and bye!